This is original artwork from DuckTales, a TV series in the 1980s. And I want to show you what went into a single frame of animation back then.
Right after Marshmallow conquers the universe!
Now, I worked on DuckTales in the 1980s, and I want to tell you a little bit about what we did. I wasn't an artist. I was involved in gathering everything that was needed to send overseas. We had the show animated overseas. Disney's feature films were all animated in-house, but we had these animated in different countries, in Taiwan and Japan, and we would design everything, and then the actual animation would be done there. When I say the actual animation, what I mean is where you have 24 frames per second of animation. And that means that you would have, for example, this, and then an artist would draw, move him just a little bit, and then the camera takes the next frame of film, takes a picture of the next frame of film. Let me tell you what we did at our end when I talk about the design. This has so much. When you look at this one frame, we have Louis, we have the different colors. We designed the colors there. When I say the colors, even for this, you have his white feathers, and then there's a shadow. And we have his hat, again, with a shadow. That means they had to choose colors, not just for the hat, the shadows of the hat as well. We have a joystick, we have a TV. All these colors were chosen. We had to design the background, and we had it first done in pencil, and then painted, and then the props had to be designed. For example, here, maybe this was the first time in DuckTales that there was a TV with a video game on it, and we may have never used a joystick before, so an artist had to design, a prop artist had to design the joystick. Someone had to design the TV. A prop artist would design the TV. But a TV or a joystick in the DuckTales world would look different than a TV or a joystick in Winnie the Pooh or Gummy Bears or Chip 'n Dale's Rescue Rangers. So it had to be designed just for this. Now, if Louis was wearing something else that he never wore before, that would have to be designed. So everything needed to be designed. We also had the scripts written and the storyboards. And then when we had everything ready, we would send it overseas. Let me tell you, in case you don't know, so a cel in animation, it's this clear celluloid, and it's made of celluloid, and it's transparent so that you could draw on it or paint on it or place your art on it and see what's behind it. And the way the animation works is you have a background, and I'll show you a little bit more about this in just a second. You have the background, and for that shot that you saw, that I showed you, the background remained on the screen, and then they would put the cels in front of it. So you have this, all the cels, and I'll show you those in a minute. Take a picture of that, take them off, so you have the background. The background would stay for that one shot, and then the next set of cels would go on, take a picture. A lot of work just for that one frame. So let me go back to the pencil drawings. So how did we get this onto the cel? Well, in my days, they would actually take this drawing and they would photocopy it. So what you now have is a cel with the lines like this. And then it had to be painted. But in the early days of Disney, in Snow White and even before that, well, and much after that as well, in fact, they would be hand-drawn. So you would place the clear cel over the pencil, and an inker would then ink the lines. Let me show you what it looks like behind here, because then it has to be painted. And it looks kind of funny. Now this splotch here is because I didn't really know how to take care of cels and backgrounds and some of my things back then. Now I know how to store it better. So something stuck to it and I guess took the paint off or put something on there. But you could see, like, look at the face here. You see, they paint over the lines, and then on the other side, you could see that the lines are there. Another reason why they would paint on the back is it looks nice and flat. Here, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but there's brush strokes that are a little more obvious. You don't get that when it's flat on the cel. So they had to paint it by hand, even back in the 1980s. Now, we have Louis, that's obvious, and this is where I never thought of it before I worked for Disney. The next drawing is simply this vehicle that's in the video game that's flying across the screen. Someone had to design it. And somebody had to plan that this one frame would be all these different layers. these were effects, and effects animators always fascinated me because they don't get the credit of the people who are designing the main characters or whatever. Think about one of my favorites, and I think this was Walt Disney's favorite scene, was in Cinderella when the fairy godmother makes Cinderella's dress appear. All that beautiful pixie dust people had to draw one by one. I mean, the one by one piece of pixie dust. Here, it's not quite as much. And there's some writing here because it was done overseas. I don't know what it says. Maybe Google Translate can now help me with that. And then we have this last one, which is there's the joystick and there's the light of the TV. And again, there's writing and notes for them. Oh, this detail that goes into a frame. So now let me show you. The first one here, I'm going to put this paper behind it a minute so you can see, is there is an outline there and you see the meteors or asteroids or stars or whatever they are. And then behind it here, we have Louis on its own layer. And then behind Louis, we have the vehicle. And then we have the last one, which is showing the light of the TV. I don't know whether the light was turned on at one point. Here's the background, why was it drawn with the screen off and then having the light on a cell? I don't know, and I'm sure they had a reason for it, but that's on another. So the background also fascinates me. Well, actually, it all fascinates me if you can't tell. This is original artwork. What that means is, well, I guess even computer artwork can be original, but this is hand-painted. That means every background a person had to actually paint throughout. So this could be used for the entire camera shot that you saw, but then if they had another camera angle, just a little bit, if they went wider, whatever, you have to have a new background. But it fascinates me how this was thought of way back in the 1920s to be able to put the cells in front of a background and just have them move. I hope you enjoy this. I have a lot more from my TV animation days if you're interested. I do have props. I do have model sheets. I have costumes, all kinds of things I could show you, and I'd be happy to. So let me know if you're interested. And if you like this, please help me out. Please like the video, subscribe to me on YouTube here. And also leave me a comment because I do like to read them. And if you let me know what kinds of things you want to see, I will show them to you. Thanks a lot.